A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to today's session on the topic leveraging Industry 4.0 technologies for MSMEs. We are glad to have with us a lot of speakers today, and more importantly, we are really glad to have to start this session. We have Mr. Anupam Jalote, the CEO of iCreate. He is MBA from Purdue and an economics graduate from Lucknow University. He has the domain expertise in strategy, tech innovation, telecom, renewable energy, and tech startups. We are really glad to have Mr. Jalote on today's session and glad to reconnect. To start this session today, may I request Mr. Abhishek Gangwal, the President of FGI, to deliver the welcome remarks, please.
Thank you, Premal. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on leveraging Industry 4.0 technologies for MSMEs. I welcome all our guest speakers, Mr. Anupam Jalote, CEO, iCreate, Mr. Tarun Purohit, founder, Limelight IT, Mr. Suraj Rajan, founder, Illuvium IoT, Mr. Rishikesh Bagol, founder, Robotics, Mr. Subhajit Sinha, founder, For Climate. I also welcome our moderators for the webinar, Mrs. Shantanu Chaturvedi, Head, EV, the Center of Excellence, iCreate, Mr. Siddharth Parikh, Head, Programs and Initiatives, iCreate. My executive committee members and managing committee colleagues, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Federation of Gujarat Industries and all of us here, I'm happy to extend a very warm welcome to our guest speakers who will be sharing their views during today's webinar on leveraging Industry 4.0 technologies for MSMEs. I welcome all the participants present today in the webinar. The term Fourth Industrial Revolution refers to technical advancements in artificial intelligence, machine learning, 5G technology, the Internet of Things, robotics, biotechnology, quantum computing, and so on. Industry 4.0 enables minimizing wasteful processes and actions and optimizing use of energy and other inputs. These technologies have opened up new possibilities for organizations, thus allowing them to dream large and expand into previously unthinkable regions. The introduction of these disruptive technologies is currently redrawing manufacturing processes worldwide. Today's webinar will help us to know the challenges in adoption of Industry 4.0 and to showcase some use cases and examples of how they can partner with incubators and startups for integrating Industry 4.0 solutions in their industry. We are fortunate to have with us our guest speakers who will enlighten us on the subject, and I'm sure the participants will greatly benefit from the discussions today. I'll just brief you about FGI. FGI, or the Federation of Gujarat Industries, was founded in the year 1918 in the erstwhile Baroda state under the progressive rule of Srimad Sayaji Rao Gaikwad III, and is an apex industries association and a recognized chamber of commerce in Gujarat, having an illustrious track record of 104 years in the service of trade and industry. FGI's success is a result of the commendable support of my colleagues in the managing committee, the esteemed FGI members, consultants, and the efficient FGI secretariat. Before I conclude, I would like to reaffirm FGI's commitment to steer the growth of its member industries, and we shall continue working closely with the government for due implementation of policies and initiatives. I heartily welcome our guest speakers and all the participants again, and look forward to an interesting and interactive webinar today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gangwal. May I now request Mr. Anupam Jalote to give the introduction of iCreate and do the context setting, please.
Thank you very much, Premal. I really appreciate your pulling this together and the wonderful industry panel that you've created. Mr. Gangwal, my compliments for leading this very, very fine organization and this lovely initiative. Truly, we're very, very happy to be partnering with FGI in this. I wanted to make three simple points, and the last one will be a little bit about iCreate. But the first one is about Industry 4.0. The second is about how innovators and startups can help power your journey in this direction. And finally, what does iCreate do to enable all of that? As Mr. Gangwar highlighted so sharply, clearly defined the various facets of Industry 4.0. And I simply wanted to highlight what it can do for you in very simple deliverables. By simply measuring the amount of energy, electricity, different devices are using, and coupling it with data analytics, dashboards, sometimes even machine learning. Very interesting insights come out. It is shocking how just one parameter, how much information it can reveal about various shifts, which shift supervisor is more productive, where is resource utilization highest, where is wastage highest, what kind of shop floor teams are producing what, which equipment is running idle, which equipment is running to full capacity, where is your capital asset productivity highest. All of these questions are answered just by one parameter. Now, once you start clubbing it with other parameters, you get even more rich texture information. So you don't even have to go to artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is a low-hanging fruit where no matter what kind of PLC or automation you have on your shop floor, there is enough freely available information available that clever IoT solutions can be plugged in, and you at your mobile phone and at your work terminal will get all the inputs that you seek. It is like a very experienced plant head or a shop floor head knows through their fingertips what is happening. You know, they build up that knowing over a period of time. And this kind of diagnostics starts coming close to the insights a very sharp factory manager or a plant head has, and giving those insights. So decision making is faster, quicker, cleaner. That is a little bit about Industry 4.0. And the best part is that it's very low cost and short time cycle it can be implemented. Now, startups and what can innovators and startups do? Gujarat is third year running the richest and most vibrant startup ecosystem in the country, as rated by the DPIIT Ministry of Commerce, comparing all the states. So therefore, we have a lot of awareness, we have a lot of support for startups. But still, when an industry partner deals with a startup, there is a gearing issue. An industry is stable, it is large, it produces things to a certain quality repeatedly in very large numbers. Whereas a startup is very small, very nimble, very creative, very innovative, but there is this gearing issue. Industry is at a different level, startups are at a different level. And startups should not be gauged only by what they are offering you at this point in time. Remember, they have the ability to develop many solutions, many things. So when you engage with a startup, do not judge them by just the product that they are showing you at this point in time. This product they have probably developed in 6, 8, 10, 12 months. Other variants they also develop in 6, 8, 10, 12 months. But what is important is that they get fairly compensated for their efforts. My personal experience with industry has been slightly tragic. Industry wants and values the solutions, but industry will not pay them for it. They want free development and they want proof of concept trials to be done at the cost of a startup. उस बेचारे स्टार्टअप के पास 8-10 लाख रुपए होते हैं, 20 लाख होते हैं, 50 लाख होते हैं, with which they are working to create those solutions. Your deliverable to the startup revolution can be simply to pay them for developing their proof of concept, the prototype, and you're testing it. If you don't like it, give them honest and sincere feedback that this is the change, this is the improvement that is needed. But pay them for their efforts. This small payment from your side transforms the mind and the heart of the startups. They feel confident that a senior member from industry has evaluated their technology, their potential, and giving them not only good feedback, but also hard money. The quantum of money need not be very high, but the fact that you are paying them changes their mindset. And once their mindset changes, they start accelerating more and more. Remember, the world's least cost way of doing innovation and R&D and tech development is startups. So if you trust startups and work with them and support them, they will amplify that gain for you 10 times, 20 times, 50 times over. You spend a lakh, you get back a crore. That is the kind of magic that startups can bring to you. Very briefly about iCreate. iCreate is now in its 8th year of operations. It's 40 kilometers outside of Ahmedabad on a 40-acre campus. It's a world-class campus with very good labs, hostels. It has the ability to attract, and it has attracted some of the finest innovators from across the country. We are focused on products. So therefore, embedded systems, IoT, sensors, analysis of data that they throw up, machine learning, these are focus areas for us. Implementations have been in agri-tech, in medtech, industry 4.0, energy storage, electric vehicles. So we've got products spread across the spectrum. We take in products at a very early idea stage. We have a very strong team of mentors that give them tech support, business building support, team building support, financing support, and then we take them to commercialization. It's a lovely place. It's a very vibrant place. And I would seriously invite a lot of our industry partners to come and visit. And perhaps, Premal, it's been a long time since we had a cup of coffee together. You might want to have a small group of your industry colleagues come for a half-day visit to iCreate, where we can have physical showcasing of some of the startups. More than that, when you go to the shop floor, when you go to the lab floor and talk to them on their own ground, a different magic happens. Then you truly sense the power and of their innovative energies. So with this, again, thank you so much for putting this together. And I hope you enjoy the interaction with the startups. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anupam Jalote. It was indeed a privilege to listen to your views about the startups and the importance of startups and the need for motivating of startups. We will surely take up the idea of visiting iCreate campus. And thank you for your time. Thank you for spending a valuable time to be with us here today. Next, I invite Mr. Shantanu Chaturvedi, Head of EV COE of iCreate, to moderate the session. Yeah.
Hi, yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you, FGI team for setting up this wonderful webinar. And thank you, Anupam sir, for those very kind, very insightful words into how we can progress with industry and startups together. The objective of this webinar is essentially to give our manufacturing partners that are present here today some insight into what Industry 4.0 essentially means and what are the possible offerings, and if they have any sort of solutions that need to be built, who they can perhaps reach out to. One of them definitely being iCreate, and then being a couple of our startups. The idea, the single line idea in my mind behind Industry 4.0 in India is essentially helping Indian manufacturers become globally competitive at a cost and a productivity front. The first startup that we have presenting today is Tarun Purohit, who is the founder, the promoter of a startup called the Limelight. And the idea behind his presentation is to give a broad overall insight into what Industry 4.0 means, how the term was coined, and what we can expect from Industry 4.0 in the future as well. Over to you, Tarun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Santanu. A very special thank you to Mr. Parmal sir Siddharth sir, Anupam sir, to organize such a beautiful webinar. So I'll start with my presentation. I'll share my screen right away. Yeah, hopefully my screen is visible, Shantanu, right? Yeah, great. So, giving the introduction, myself, Tarun Purohit, founder of Limelight IT. Limelight is basically started in 2018 with the help of iCreate, and our vision is to basically empower SME and MSME sector of India to providing them a cost-effective solution in Industry 4.0 domain. So today I'm going to present basically a history of Industry 4.0, fundamentals, challenges, scope, opportunity, and benefit of it, and specifically considering the MSME and SME sector. And I also keep my communication language as a Hindi and English both mixed, so for the better reach out. Starting with the first slide, let me minimize the screen. So the presentation will be great. So the first industrial revolution is basically started in in 18th century. Like जब पहली बार मैकेनिकल पहली बार जो स्टीम इंजन है उसका उपयोग करके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को बढ़ावा मिला, जब फर्स्ट इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन हुआ लगभग 18th सेंचुरी के स्टार्टिंग, तो वो पहला इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन माना गया, क्योंकि तब पहली बार ह्यूमन लेबर को हटा के मैकेनिकल पावर का उपयोग यूज करके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को स्टार्ट किया गया। जब सेकंड रिवॉल्यूशन जब आया इंडस्ट्री में, वो आया कि जब पहली बार इलेक्ट्रिक पावर का यूज हुआ, पहली बार वो मास प्रोडक्शन के लिए असेंबली लाइन का यूज हुआ, जहां पर कि एक साथ एक सिंगल लाइन पे पूरा प्रोडक्शन होता था, जिससे कि मास जो प्रोडक्शन है उसको हासिल किया गया, उसको सेकंड इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन कहा गया। थर्ड इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन जब हुआ, जब सेमीकंडक्टर का मर्जर हुआ मैकेनिकल पावर के साथ, कि जब पहली बार सीएनसी, रोबोटिक्स वगैरह इंट्रोड्यूस हुए मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में, उसके साथ ही कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर सॉल्यूशन भी इंट्रोड्यूस हुए और ईआरपी धीरे धीरे इंट्रोड्यूस होता हुआ। ये थर्ड रिवॉल्यूशन जो हुआ है वो 20th सेंचुरी के कुछ लास्ट डिकेड में, जैसे 60s, 70s और 80s में। यहाँ पर क्या हुआ कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है जो ऑटोमेट होती गई धीरे धीरे, और अभी जो फिलहाल चल रहा है 21st सेंचुरी के स्टार्टिंग में, वो फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन है। इसीलिए इस टेक्नोलॉजी को और इस फेज को इंडस्ट्री 4.0 कहा जाता है। अब इसमें क्या नया है? इसमें बेसिकली है कि जो इंफॉर्मेशन स्प्रेड हो रही थी अक्रॉस द डिपार्टमेंट, अक्रॉस द प्लांट, उसको शेयर किया गया, सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाया गया, और उससे इंडस्ट्री का जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का एफिशिएंसी है उससे और बढ़ाया जा सके। तो इसमें कुछ अलग अलग टेक्नोलॉजीज इंकॉर्पोरेट की जाती हैं, जैसे इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स, बिग डेटा एनालिटिक्स, क्वांटम कंप्यूटर वगैरह, अलग अलग टेक्नोलॉजी को इन्फ्यूज किया गया है, और ये इंडस्ट्री 4.0 इसको कहा गया है। अब क्या इंडस्ट्री 4.0 नहीं है? सो बेसिकली ये कोई स्टैंडर्ड नहीं है, जैसे ASME है, CE है, ये कोई इवोल्यूशन ग्रेड भी नहीं है, जैसे 0.5 हो गया, 1.0 हो गया, 2.0 हो गया। ये कोई सेट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस भी नहीं है, जैसे 5S या काइजन है। ये एक रिवॉल्यूशन है, जैसे मैंने हिस्टोरिकली बताया, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 और अभी 4.0। अभी बात करेंगे स्कोप एंड सिनेरियो क्या है इंडस्ट्री 4.0 का अपने MSME और SME कंटेक्स्ट में। तो अगर इंडिया की बात करें तो अगर 7% अगर ईयर टू ईयर जीडीपी ग्रोथ अगर हम एज्यूम करते हैं, 2016 में जीडीपी कंट्रीब्यूशन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का 16.2% था, यानी कि 300 बिलियन लगभग, यानी 20 लाख करोड़ रुपए। गवर्नमेंट का जो टारगेट है 2025 तक जीडीपी कंट्रीब्यूशन 25% तक ले जाने का है, जो $1 ट्रिलियन है, जो कि अंदाजे 65 लाख करोड़ रुपीस होता है। अब ये अगर हासिल करना है तो हर एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट को ईयर टू ईयर लगभग 15% से भी ज्यादा ग्रो करना पड़ेगा, तभी हम 25% जीडीपी कंट्रीब्यूशन तक पहुंच सकते हैं। अब ये थोड़ा स्लाइड जिसमें कुछ कंटेंट ज्यादा है, मैं इसको थोड़ा सा इलेबोरेट करूंगा तो बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग आ जाएगी। आज का जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है, आप कोई भी फैक्ट्री ले लीजिए, अपने माइंड में अगर फैक्ट्री आप इमेजिन करते हैं तो उसको 4 लेवल में डिवाइड किया जा सकता है। फर्स्ट लेवल जो है वो अपना शॉप फ्लोर है, जहां पर मशीनें चल रही हैं, जहां पर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो रहा है, अब चाहे वो मैनुअल मशीन हो, पीएलसी स्काडा के थ्रू हो या किसी से। लेवल 2 जो है वो बेसिकली लाइन मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम है, जहां पर से मैनेज होता है कि कौन से मशीन पे क्या अपना प्रोडक्शन चलेगा, उसको आप कह सकते हैं अपनी भाषा में सुपरवाइजर, जो लेवल 2 है। लेवल 3 जो है वो एमईएस है, जहां पर ये सारा डेटा कलेक्ट होता है, जहां पर आप कह सकते हैं मैनेजर भी बैठते हैं या कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर भी हैं, जहां पर क्या होता है कि अपने चार्ट बनते हैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के, अपने ओई के रिपोर्ट बनते हैं, कितना प्रोडक्शन हो गया है, कितना बाकी है, कहा, यहाँ पर बेसिकली कुछ डिसीजन मेकिंग भी होते हैं। और चौथा लेवल है वो अपना ईआरपी सिस्टम है। तो आप कोई भी फैक्ट्री अब 4 लेवल में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं, लेवल 1, 2, 3 और 4। अब इसमें आज के मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में देखेंगे तो ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन जो है वो यहाँ पर आता है लेवल 1 में, और ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन की वजह से लेवल 1 और लेवल 4 उसके बीच में कोई कनेक्शन नहीं। और आप देखते हैं कि जो आपने एक्चुअल डिसीजन मेकिंग है वो लेवल 4 पे होता है, क्योंकि ईआरपी पे हमें समझ आता है कि कितना प्रोडक्शन हो गया है, कितना अपना कॉस्ट बैठ रहा है, कितना अपना प्रॉफिट है, और ये सब मंथ वाइज या मे बी ईयर वाइज या जो भी अपना क्वार्टर हिसाब से उसको रिवाइज किया जाता है। अब ये मैंने सिंपल फॉर्म में आपको यहाँ पर लिखा है कि लेवल 1 है मशीन, मटेरियल, डेटा कलेक्शन सिस्टम, मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम और ईआरपी सिस्टम। ये 4 लेवल पे अपना मैन्युफैक्चरिंग चलता है। अब इंडस्ट्री 4.0 करता क्या है, वो बेसिकली कि ये पूरा जो था लीनियर था, आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर। अभी अगर मैं कहूं कि इंडस्ट्री 4.0 से ये सर्कुलर हो जाएगा, कैसे कि मैं सारा डेटा जो है लेवल 1, 2, 3, 4 का अक्रॉस द लेवल अगर हम शेयर करें और इंडस्ट्री 4.0 को हम सेंटर में रख दें, उससे क्या होगा कि मशीन, मैन, मटेरियल, जो भी प्रोडक्शन चल रहा है, जो एक्चुअल स्टेटस या सिनेरियो है वहां पर, वो हम सीधा ईआरपी में ले सकते हैं। ईआरपी से डेटा हम सुपरवाइजर तक पहुंचा सकते हैं, वही डेटा हम मैनेजमेंट तक पहुंचा सकते हैं, जो मिडिल मैनेजमेंट है, जहां पर एक्चुअल डे टू डे तो डिसीजन होते हैं कि भाई कौन से मशीन पे कितना प्रोडक्शन चलाना है, कितनी देर तक चलाना है, कौन सा ऑर्डर किस लेवल पर चलाना है, किस मशीन पर चलाना है, और ये सारा सर्कुलर फॉर्म में होने लगेगा, जिससे क्या होगा कि कोई भी टाइप का मिसकम्युनिकेशन या गैप नहीं रहेगा। ये बेसिकली इंडस्ट्री 4.0 फंडामेंटली जो है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को ऑफर करता है, जो लीनियर जो प्रोसेस था उसको एक सर्कुलर फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट कर देगा। अब आज के सिनेरियो में बात करें तो क्या अभी एग्जैक्टली प्रॉब्लम क्या पर आ रही है ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन की वजह से, तो एक तो कि जो डाउन टाइम है, एक्चुअल डाउन टाइम उससे कम दिखाया जा सकता है, रिजेक्शन जो एक्चुअल है उससे कम दिखाया जा सकता है, और जो प्रोडक्शन है वो एक्चुअल से ज्यादा दिखाया जा सकता है। ये पॉसिबिलिटीज ऑलवेज हैं और ये होती होंगी डेली बेसिस के सिनेरियो में। अब उससे रिजल्ट क्या आता है, उससे क्या प्रॉब्लम आती है कि रॉ मटेरियल कंजप्शन और एक्चुअल प्रोडक्शन में हैवीली मिसमैच आ जाता है, उससे फाइनेंशियल लॉसेस अकर होंगे, इनएफिशिएंसी है जो नोटिस नहीं होंगी, क्योंकि जो डाउन टाइम है वो एक्चुअल डाउन टाइम रिपोर्ट होता ही नहीं है। मान लो 8 घंटे का शिफ्ट चला है, अपने पास जो डाउन टाइम है 2 घंटे का है, बट हो सकता है कि एक्चुअल शॉप फ्लोर पे वो डाउन टाइम 3 घंटे का हो। अब फैक्ट्रीज या ओनर या मैनेजमेंट क्या करता है, और इन्वेस्टमेंट करता है एडिशनल मैन पावर, क्योंकि आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि डेफिशिएंसी कहां पर आ रही है, जो क्वालिटी है उस पर कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ता है। अब एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है, इंडस्ट्री की एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है कि अगर हमें करेक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन मिले, किस किस चीज की, प्रोडक्टिविटी, रिजेक्शन, डाउन टाइम, अर्ली वार्निंग पॉसिबल जो प्रॉब्लम है उसकी, और एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी। अब इन चीजों का अगर हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन है, करेक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन है, रियल टाइम इंफॉर्मेशन है, तो उससे क्या किया जा सकता है कि जो डिसीजन लिए जाए वो इन्फॉर्म डिसीजन हो, वो उस डिसीजन को बैक करने के लिए अपने पास इंफॉर्मेशन हो, और उससे हम फाइनेंशियल जो हमारी स्टेटस है उसको इंप्रूव किया जा सकता है। अब ये तो हो गई जनरल स्पेसिफिकेशन, जनरल जो बातें हैं कि इंडस्ट्री 4.0 हमें क्या क्या ऑफर कर सकता है। अब आगे कुछ यूज केसेस हैं वो लेके मैं आपको डिस्कस करूंगा ताकि रिलेट की जा सके आप अपनी फैक्ट्री के साथ या अपने सिनेरियो के साथ कि क्या हेल्पफुल हो सकता है, कैसे हेल्पफुल हो सकता है इंडस्ट्री 4.0। तो पहले बात करता हूं मैं डिजिटल ट्विन। सो डिजिटल ट्विन क्या कंसेप्ट है कि यू बेसिकली आपका जो मशीन है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहा है उसको एक डिजिटल रेप्लिका तैयार की जाए उसी मशीन की। वो कैसे कि जो मशीन अपने प्रोडक्शन कर रहा है उसके ऊपर हम कुछ सेंसर लगाएंगे, कुछ डेटा हम पीएलसी या स्काडा से लेंगे, और एक डैशबोर्ड पे उसका एक डिजिटल ट्विन तैयार करेंगे। अब एक्चुअल जो प्रोडक्शन जो मशीन जो शॉप फ्लोर पे एक्चुअल जो काम कर रहा है वही चीज वहां पर डिजिटली वो मिमिक करेगा। जैसे सडनली अगर ब्रेकडाउन आया और अगर अपना मशीन जो है वो स्टॉप हो गया, ऑटोमेटिकली डैशबोर्ड पे वो अपडेट हो जाएगा और वो डिजिटल ट्विन है वो भी वहां पर स्टॉप हो जाएगा। उससे क्या होगा कि लाइव एक तो डेटा मॉनिटरिंग होगा उस असेट का, प्रोडक्शन का, और कुछ की पैरामीटर जो है उसको भी हम मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं। अब डिजिटल ट्विन कंसेप्ट से बेनिफिट क्या होता है? तो एक तो हम परफॉर्मेंस इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं क्योंकि हम हर एक मशीन का जो उसका प्रोडक्शन है वो मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं और उसको एनालाइज कर सकते हैं कि भाई कौन से टाइम में जो है हमारा प्रोडक्शन सबसे हाईएस्ट रहता है, कौन सा पीक आवर्स रहते हैं, कहां पर लो जा रहा है, किस सीजन में लो जा रहा है, कौन से ऑपरेटर का किस मशीन के साथ बेस्ट मैच रहता है और जिससे हम प्रोडक्शन मैक्सिमम कर सकते हैं। दूसरा चीज है हम कंडीशन मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं क्योंकि हम उसके कुछ पैरामीटर जो है वो हम कंटिन्यूअस मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं, जैसे वाइब्रेशन हो गया, उसके करंट या उसके पावर के पैरामीटर्स, उससे हम ऑप्टिमाइज कर सकते हैं। और एनर्जी कंजप्शन, जिससे हम कि उसका ओवरऑल जो एनर्जी कितना कंज्यूम हो रहा है उसको हम मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं। एनर्जी कंजप्शन मॉनिटर करने से क्या होगा कि आपका जो पार्ट्स बन रहा है तो एनर्जी पर पार्ट्स उसको हम मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं और डेली बेसिस पे उसका रिपोर्ट में हम दिखा सकते हैं। दूसरा जो मॉड्यूल है प्रेडिक्टिव मेंटेनेंस। अब प्रेडिक्टिव मेंटेनेंस में क्या है कि जो मशीन है जो अपना एसेट है उसके ऊपर हम कुछ सेंसर लगाते हैं, जैसे वाइब्रेशन, टेम्परेचर और अपना इलेक्ट्रिक पैरामीटर जैसे वोल्टेज और करंट। अब इनका कंटिन्यूअस मॉनिटर हम करते रहेंगे। अब मान लीजिए कि अपना मशीन ब्रेकडाउन होने वाला है या हो गया, किसी भी केस सिनारियो में अगर उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रही है तो कहीं ना कहीं आज तो वाइब्रेशन चेंज हो जाएगा या उसका करंट कंजप्शन चेंज हो जाएगा या मे बी वोल्टेज के पैरामीटर में कुछ ना कुछ चेंज आएगा ही आएगा। अगर हम उसको कंटिन्यूअस मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं और एमएल के कुछ एल्गोरिदम हमने इंप्लीमेंट किए हैं ताकि अगर वो एबनॉर्मल कुछ पैरामीटर अगर वो नोटिस कर रहा है तो वो सडनली अपना अलार्म रेज कर देगा। उससे क्या होगा कि जब मशीन ब्रेकडाउन हो उससे पहले हम उस पर एक्शन ली जा सकती है कि भाई कुछ प्रॉब्लम होने वाली है, तो जो अनप्लान जो डाउन टाइम आता है मशीन का वो नहीं आएगा। कहीं ना कहीं मेंटेनेंस पहले से हम कर सकते हैं, मे बी थोड़ा बहुत डाउन टाइम होगा मेंटेनेंस के लिए, पर जो ब्रेकडाउन है उसको हम कम कर सकते हैं और धीरे धीरे जीरो तक ले जा सकते हैं। अब उससे क्या क्या बेनिफिट हो सकते हैं, जैसे मैंने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस किया कि उसका आउटपुट हम इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं, कॉस्ट रिडक्ट कर सकते हैं क्योंकि बार बार जो डाउन टाइम जो लंबे लंबे डाउन टाइम आते थे उसको हम रिड्यूस कर सकते हैं और अल्टीमेटली उसका एफिशिएंसी जो है वो बढ़ा सकते हैं। अगर बात करें कि एक आइडियल फैक्ट्री की, अब क्योंकि केस स्टडी मैंने कुछ बताई, अब इंडस्ट्री 4.0 अगर कहीं पर हमने इंप्लीमेंट किया है एंड टू एंड, तो वो एक फैक्ट्री जो आइडियल फैक्ट्री है वो कैसे काम करेगी, तो उसका मैं अगर आपको एक ओवरव्यू दूं जिसमें आप इमेजिन करिए कि एक सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां पर हमने परचेज को इंटीग्रेट कर सकता है, इन्वेंट्री इंटीग्रेटेड है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और मेंटेनेंस, ये चार बेसिक मॉड्यूल हमने उसमें इंटीग्रेट कर सकती है। ये हो सकता है कि आपका ईआरपी सिस्टम ऑलरेडी हो या उसके साथ हम हमारा सिस्टम जो है वो प्लग इन कर दें। उससे क्या होगा कि एक आपका जो परचेजिंग वर्कफ्लो है वो ऑटोमेट हो जाएगा क्योंकि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो चल रहा है वो अपने सिस्टम को पता है कि कौन से मशीन पे कितना मैन्युफैक्चर हो गया है, कितने रॉ मटेरियल की रिक्वायरमेंट है, और वो सिस्टम अपने आप फोरकास्ट कर लेगा, जिससे क्या है कि आपका परचेज ऑटोमेट हो जाएगा। परचेज जब हो जाएगा, अब जब मटेरियल वहां से आके अपना इन्वेंट्री गेट पर आएगा, इन्वेंट्री गेट पर क्या होगा कि पहले ही जैसे मटेरियल आया सिस्टम को पता है कि हमने ये ऑर्डर किया था, वहां पर उसका चेक हो जाएगा कि हाँ ये इन्वेंट्री ऑर्डर की थी, ये इन्वेंट्री आ गई है, और वहां से इन्वेंट्री का ट्रैकिंग भी स्टार्ट हो जाएगा। तो रॉ मटेरियल का ट्रैकिंग जो है अपना एंट्री गेट से स्टार्ट हो जाएगा। वो रॉ मटेरियल जैसे ही अपना मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पे चढ़ेगा वहां पर कुछ अलग टेक्नोलॉजी हम यूज करके, जैसे क्यूआर या बारकोड, जो भी लो कॉस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी अपने हिसाब से अपने केस यूज केस के हिसाब से फिट बैठती है, उससे हम उसको ट्रैक कर देंगे। अब मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में कौन से मशीन पे कौन सा रॉ मटेरियल और कौन सा वर्क ऑर्डर चल रहा है उसका रियल टाइम आपको मॉनिटरिंग मिल सकता है। उसी दौरान जब मैन्युफैक्चरिंग चल रहा है उसी दौरान हम उस मशीन का मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं डिजिटल ट्विन के थ्रू, तो उससे क्या रहेगा कि उसका मेंटेनेंस हम ऑटोमेट कर सकते हैं और कहीं ना कहीं प्रिवेंटिव मेंटेनेंस हम दे सकते हैं उस मशीन का, जिससे आपका अब एंड टू एंड आपका एक तो इन्वेंट्री मॉनिटर हो जाएगा, परचेज से लेकर सेल्स तक वो सारा एक सिंगल डैशबोर्ड के थ्रू हम ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं। अब जरूरी नहीं है कि ये एक साथ पूरा इंप्लीमेंट हो, फेज बाय फेज स्टेप बाय स्टेप हम इसको इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, जहां पर हम अलग अलग मॉड्यूल धीरे धीरे इंप्लीमेंट करके उसके साथ इंकॉर्पोरेट कर सकते हैं। अब आर्किटेक्चर की बात करें तो इस तरीके से हमारा टोटल एक आर्किटेक्चर हम इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं जिसमें अलग अलग टेक्नोलॉजी हम इंकॉर्पोरेट करते हैं। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पर एक हमारा हार्डवेयर है आईओटी बॉक्स, जिसके साथ हम कुछ अलग अलग सेंसर जैसे डिजिटल एनकोडर, करंट सेंसर, अलग अलग सेंसर अलग अलग मशीन के हिसाब से हम इसमें इंटरफेस कर सकते हैं। दूसरी तरफ HMI दिया गया है टैबलेट, जिसमें वो सॉफ्टवेयर रन हो रहा है। अगर कहीं ना कहीं कुछ मैनुअल इंटरवेंशन की जरूरत है तो वो टैबलेट पे ऑन द स्पॉट सॉफ्ट फ्लोर पे उसकी डेटा एंट्री की जा सकती है। जैसे जी अगर फॉर एग्जांपल मान लीजिए कि अपना मशीन स्टैंड बाय में जाता है तो उसका एक लॉग क्रिएट होगा और उस लॉग से हम पता कर सकते हैं कि भाई कौन सा मशीन जो है किस रीजन की वजह से बार बार अपना स्टैंड बाय में जाता है और उसकी वजह से कितना लॉस अकर हो रहा है। ये भी उस डेटा एनालिटिक्स के थ्रू हम आपको दिखा सकते हैं। कुछ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन जो ऑलरेडी हमने फैक्ट्रीज में किया हुआ है, क्योंकि पिछले 6 महीनों से हम मार्केट में हैं और यहाँ पर हम आप देख सकते हैं कि पाइप मेकिंग मशीन जो है वहां पर हमने ये सिस्टम इम्प्लीमेंट किया। ये जो हमारा डैशबोर्ड है जिसमें एक कार्ड जो है वो बेसिकली रिप्रेजेंट करता है एक मशीन को, तो उसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि हर मशीन का टोटल ऑन टाइम क्या है, ऑफ टाइम क्या है, टोटल पार्ट काउंट कितने हैं कि सुबह से अभी तक ऊपर टोटल कितने पार्ट्स जो है मैन्युफैक्चर हुए हैं, और ये सारा डिटेल जो है एक सिंगल डैशबोर्ड पे हम दिखा सकते हैं। अब सपोज कि हम कैसे काम करते हैं, हमारा अप्रोच क्या है, तो आप अगर हमें रीच आउट करें तो हम पहला जो है फैक्ट्री विजिट करेंगे, एनालिसिस करेंगे कि क्या क्या मशीन है, कहाँ कहाँ पर हम अपने इंडस्ट्री 4.0 या डिजिटाइजेशन इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं। फिर उसके हिसाब से एक पूरा प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल तैयार होगा। उस प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल के हिसाब से अब उसमें आप आपकी साइड से भी इनपुट्स दे सकते हैं कि अगर आपने कहीं कुछ पेन पॉइंट्स ऑलरेडी आइडेंटिफाई कर रखे होंगे, फॉर एग्जांपल कोई एक प्रोसेस है, इस प्रोसेस को अगर हम डिजिटाइज करें तो बेनिफिट मिल सकता है, या कहीं कहीं पर आपको ऑलरेडी आइडिया है कि ये अपना इस एरिया में लॉसेस ऑलरेडी हमको अकर होते हैं, तो वो भी हम उसमें से साथ इनकॉर्पोरेट करके उस फिर आपको प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल दिया जाएगा और उसके हिसाब से फिर उसमें इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हम चालू करके एंड में आपको हैंडओवर दे सकते हैं। और इस तरीके से पूरा जर्नी रहेगा जो 2 से 3 मंथ भी टाइम लग सकता है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन कि कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स है और कितना स्कोप ऑफ वर्क वहां पर है अवेलेबल। और लास्ट में डिजिटल फैक्ट्री जो है अपना एंड गोल वहां तक पहुंच सकते हैं। अगर कुछ सवाल हो तो हम ले सकते हैं थ्रू द शांतनु। That's all from my side. Thank you very much to
Right. तो क्वेश्चन आंसर आई थिंक सारी प्रेजेंटेशंस के एंड में होगा. You can put in your questions in the chat box, or even after the presentations, you can unmute and ask your questions. Thank you, Tarun, for that great insightful presentation. The next presenter that we have is Suraj, who is the founder, the promoter of Alluvium. Alluvium is a company that is developing cutting-edge AI-based CCTV solutions to enhance and enable understanding of worker productivity and worker safety. Over to you, Suraj.
Hey, thanks, Shantanu. So, guys, I'm just gonna share my screen. So I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, your screen.
Perfect, cool. Cool. So hi everybody. मेरा नाम सूरज है. So I have been a serial entrepreneur. So मैंने factories पे ही काफी companies बनाई हैं. Alluvium मेरा third startup है. Since 18 I've been building startups and companies mostly focused on factories. So I love the sound of the factories and factories से प्यार है. So I've never built a factory, but factories के लिए I've built a lot of solutions. So this Alluvium we started around 4-5 years ago, and the thought process has been कि हम technology कैसे leverage कर सकते हैं for MSMEs. And as Anupam sir also spoke about कि industries want maybe a जुगाड़ frugal kind of a way, so we also wanted कि हम हमारे resources utilize करके हम कैसे कर सकते हैं. So Alluvium focuses on, as Shantanu shared, productivity, safety and security of the factories using the existing CCTV cameras. So मेरा जो presentation is going to be very short. So I'm going to tell a story about one of the customers that we have. So screen. So yeah. So इनका नाम प्रदीप है. So चेन्नई में GIDCs नहीं है, चेन्नई में सिपकॉट्स रहते हैं, तो यहाँ पे श्री परम्बुदर करके सिपकॉट है, so इनकी ऑटोमोटिव की फैक्ट्री है. So I was sitting with him with a couple of years ago and trying to talk to him कि भाई क्या challenges है where you would like want us to work, and we would not want to spend a lot of money. Workers के पास में already बहुत सारा काम है, so we don't want to give them additional tasks, additional softwares, additional things, and also additional hardware की भी फिर maintenance team. So क्या कर सकते हैं कि भाई existing कोई लेके हम कर सकते हैं. So one of the things that he spoke about is workforce management. तो जैसे हम grow करेंगे, workforce is eventually going to grow. Even with automation, there will be some kind of workforce that will be always be there. एंड एक चीज उन्होंने शेयर किया था कि भाई फैक्ट्री के गेट्स पे काफी डिले रहता है जब लोडिंग अनलोडिंग टाइम के लिए गाड़ियां आती हैं, तो इनके जो कस्टमर्स होते हैं वो कंप्लेन करते हैं कि हमारी गाड़ी आ गई है लेकिन यू हैव नॉट लोडेड इट, बट जब ये चेक करते हैं तो गाड़ी आई नहीं होती है. सो वन बिग चैलेंज वो कि लोडिंग अनलोडिंग टाइम क्वांटिफाई नहीं होता है. कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स होते हैं फैक्ट्री में, वो आते हैं जाते हैं, पता नहीं चलता कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स कहाँ काम कर रहे हैं. एग्जिस्टिंग हमारा IT का सॉफ्टवेयर इनके पास में, बट एवरीथिंग इज ऑल डिस्कनेक्टेड. Like also how Tarun was also talking about, like, so half the things are disconnected. So this is one thing that is shared, there is a lot of bottleneck at the factory gate for loading and unloading time, and the security staff is also not very educated with mapping, like in the process. Second is he spoke about like as even for a small factory, या आपकी factory बड़ी हो, or if you have other partners also who are trying to give you safety solutions या other solutions, as safety is growing, everybody has to have more compliances. So also factory से देख रहे हैं कि कैसे हम कम staff रखें, safety officer चाहिए, but then how to go about with being very very compliant. So that is also a challenge that he spoke about. Like earlier he was having example X number of fire extinguishers, now it's more, and उनके जो customers हैं उनके तरफ से काफी complaints आ रही है कि भाई, और काफी suggestions आ रही है कि you have to be more and more safety compliant. Third thing that he spoke about is वर्कर का हेड काउंट. सो लाइक देयर आर प्लेसेस इन द फैक्ट्रीज लाइक गेट हो गया, मेस हो गया, इन सर्टेन एरियाज, इन सर्टेन प्लेसेस वेयर सर्टेन पैकिंग एरिया हो गया जहाँ पे वर्कर्स डिफाइंड है, बट देन यू आर नॉट हैविंग अ रियल टाइम हेड काउंट. 1000-1500 वर्कर्स काम कर रहे हैं, बट यू डोंट हैव अ काउंट एट द एंड के कितने लोग अंदर है कितने लोग बाहर है. सो दीज 3 थिंग्स दैट is the things that he spoke about, and हमने फिर इसके ऊपर solutions हमारा build किया. We have a plethora of around 7 products in productivity, safety and security, but आज मैं आपको 3 solutions के बारे में बात करूंगा. So like and here again Alluvium में, so we have patented our solution wherein it's a hardware and a software product put together, and as I shared कि productivity, safety और workforce पे हम काम करते हैं, and we want to be a leading company in the world focused on workforce management. And इस पूरे data analytics के part से जो basic part है, the people who benefit are the security heads, the workers, because you're able to also get a worker scorecard, so उनको incentivize ज़्यादा कर सकते हैं. Management को clarity रहता है कि with the cameras which machines are working, which worker is working, like so they're able to take decisions on buying of machines. HR जो रहते हैं यहाँ पे, they have good clarity कि कितने लोग काम कर रहे हैं. In terms of that, safety officers know कि कौन से workers are unsafe or behaving like in wrong manner, and like they can do it. IT for them it's very good because now they're able to integrate our solutions put together, or use the new data points जो like Anupam sir also spoke about, like to use those new data points to get something insightful. So our solution, I'm going to talk about 3 products of us. So one is called G Shield. So wherein what we do is we have our own cameras that we deploy at the customer's factory gate. It could be your existing cameras as well. So if you're able to use those cameras, we are very happy enough. But if those cameras are not that great enough, then we'll put our own cameras. So what we're able to do is we're able to get in the license plate number of the vehicles that are able to come in and go out, and we're able to measure the vehicle loading and unloading time. अगर आपके मेटल के गेट्स है या तो आपके पास में गेट नहीं है, वी आर एबल टू आल्सो मोटराइज द गेट्स and also able to put a boom barriers like how you see in the society gates, but the society gates use RFID, so here there is no RFID cost. We just use the cameras, they take the license plate and then they just like the gate is open and the gate closes and you are able to get in. Even contractor vehicle coming in, contractor vehicle going out, we are able to like get those insights as well. So it's a huge plug and play solution. So आपके number of gates के हिसाब से we are able to plug it and then deploy it. The second is elevation safe. So there are places where there are certain safety equipments that are placed. Sometimes when you try to go find it, आप 1 महीने बाद देखने जाते हैं तो वो होता ही नहीं है वहाँ पे. So या फिर एग्जाम्पल कुछ एरियाज है जहाँ पे काफी इंसिडेंट्स होती रहती है, काफी एक्सीडेंट्स होते रहते हैं, काफी बार नए SOP रखने के बावजूद वो एक्सीडेंट रिपीटेडली होते हैं. इट कुड बी प्लेसेस के क्लीनिंग के टाइम पे एग्जाम्पल छत पे सोलर के पैनल्स लगे हैं तो देयर आर रिपीटेड एक्सीडेंट्स आफ्टर 6 मंथ इंटरवल्स, वेरियस थिंग्स लाइक दैट. तो उस पे हम कैमरास लगाते हैं, वी आर एबल टू गिव अलर्ट्स एंड एवरीथिंग पुट टुगेदर. The third is sensors. So this is where you would want to get, आपके पास में चैलेंज है कि you would want to get real time head count कि कितने लोग वर्कर्स कौन से जोन में है, कौन से एरिया में है, और कितना हेड काउंट आपके पास में है, उसके बेसिस पे यू वुड वांट टू क्रिएट सम अलर्ट। बिकॉज कभी कभार क्या होता है कि एग्जाम्पल अपना शिफ्ट शुरू हो रहा है एंड देयर आर 300-400 वर्कर्स, सो देयर इज अ ह्यूज पाइल अप ऑफ दिस 400 वर्कर्स एट द गेट, एंड वो प्रोडक्शन तक पहुंचने तक इट कुड बी 25 to 30 minutes or 15 minutes. So 15 minutes into 300 workers, a huge time cost that goes. So you're able to measure it, then optimize it. So these are the 3 products that we have, and is customers के हिसाब से wherever we are deployed, we're able to understand that it's a huge visibility काफी बढ़ी आती है इससे, safety compliance हो जाता है, automated है because using the same cameras or own cameras. Profitability is a huge factor, so you're able to get the ROI very much intact because हम लोग कुछ extra नया add नहीं कर रहे हैं, we are using the same cameras that are deployed in the factory, उसी को हम optimize करके हम लोग trying to get the output, so it's just the same thing that we're trying to get. So we are a team of 12. So मेरे पास almost 14 years का experience है. I've got Puneet with me, so he handles the software, and Praveen is looking after the hardware part of it. We are now growing in team, so we're looking forward to be around 24 people by December put together. So जो patent हमने file किया था, we have filed it alongside with Professor Devjit Roy, so he's a co-inventor. So he's an IIM Ahmedabad professor, and हम constantly क्या करते रहते हैं कि अगर कुछ नया interesting use case है, like textile industry or certain industries, then pipe industry. So what we do is we make it an entire case study from IIM, and हम उसमें से analytics निकाल के how much % could be savings, we do a case study. So we have done 2 case studies also from IIM Ahmedabad. Amit sir helps us with marketing aspects, and Anupam sir is an investor in the company through iCreate. So he adds in very, very good amount of strategic advice to us. So this is a QR code for all of you who wants to get our IIM Ahmedabad case study. You can just scan it, and we have deployed projects, and हम projects और deploy कर रहे हैं, and edge पे भी deploy करते हैं. So in certain cases what we do is we have our own servers. We put the servers at your premises, or we can deploy it on your servers, or else we can have no servers at all and just deploy it at the camera itself. So पूरा computing camera पे ही directly हो सकता है. We have 2 models. If there are customers who wants to try out the solution, they can go for a SaaS model, so they don't have to pay for hardware or anything, no server cost. 2,000 rupees पे you can experiment and try to see how things work. And after that, if you are convinced that you're getting the ROI, आपको benefit मिल रहा है, you can just buy out the hardware and the software at a one-time cost, and then just pay for an AMC. So this is like the purchasing model. So what do we have for FGI? So we are looking at. I was just having a conversation with my colleague Nikhil. So हम लोग discuss कर रहे थे क्या कर सकते हैं FGI के लिए. So we want to be in the journey or in the story of helping MSMEs, and there is a lag that Anupam sir spoke about, that there is a difference in adoption and this. So what we want to do is we want the MSMEs to experience it. And to experience this, what we're planning to do is we're planning to give 10 FGI members who would scan and who would register. We would give them a free experience session for a month. So you can try out any of the products. We'll send out more products. You can try it out, use it in the factory and see it's making sense to you. Then do your internal mathematics to understand, does it create value and in what aspect? And the eventual goal is for you to become competitive, and for us, it will give us a new use case also, if it is a new use case, if it is not. So this is something from my end, and I look forward to getting and talking to you guys and answering any questions. But it's a high time that we use the CCTV cameras, which is currently used only for surveillance, or वो सिर्फ surveillance के use होता है. So let us make them smarter and just try to become more effective. So that's all from my end. Yeah. Over to you, Shantanu.
Thank you, Suraj. And I think the FGI Super 10 MSMEs is a great initiative. I think that's a great idea. I'm sure a lot of people would be rushing to scan that QR code and get in touch. Thank you for that presentation. Now we have Rishikesh Bagul, who is the founder promoter of Robotics, and they are doing some very interesting work in the space of automated IoT enabled inventory management. So over to you, Rishikesh.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, Rishi.
Yes, you're audible. Please share your screen.
Yes.
Incidentally, there's this Gagandeep's query about solutions for warehouse and stock management. So it's in very right time that Rishi is coming up with his presentation.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Rishi.
Yeah.
You can see the screen.
Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Rishikesh Bagul. I'm a founder and CEO of Robotics. And today I'm going to tell you about one of our product, Boxit, an autonomous inventory tracking system. So I would like to tell you some statistics about inventory. There are around 20 million number of manufacturing MSMEs in India. And average asset side of MSMEs, manufacturing MSMEs is 6 crore rupees. And average inventory to asset ratio of these MSMEs may range from 10 to 40%. And out of this inventory, which we have in crores of rupees, annually 1.3% of this inventory is inaccurate, or it's discrepancy. So annually, most of the MSMEs face 1.3% of discrepancy in their inventory. So this inventory, which we have asset, which is crores of rupees. So for example, if you have 1 crore of annual inventory, every year you are losing 1.3 lakh rupees. It's like missing 1.3 lakh out of your bank every year, and we still not worried about the inventory that we are losing just because of data inaccuracies and the discrepancies that we have in our software. So what is wrong with the way we are managing our inventory today? The first one is the discrepancies and the inaccuracies. These are some stats which bothers us. Only 37% of the time how frequently industry manufacturing businesses are accurate about how much inventory they have. The software shows 100 units, but there are only 98 units. And these have only 37% of the time how frequently they are 37% of the time they are inaccurate about it. One of every 3 businesses miss the shipment deadline just because they have inaccurate inventory data. And you lose 4 to 8% potential sales just because of having inaccuracy in your inventory records. So discrepancy may happen because of multiple things, maybe human errors in the data entry, maybe mispicking of items, maybe a theft could be an issue in your factory, or wrong shipment by vendor. You ask vendor to send 100 units, he sends only 98 units, and the discrepancy of 2 units will always be in your software. So there are multiple reasons why discrepancy can creep in. So if you want to remove this discrepancy, what do you do? This is the second problem. You go and manually count every inventory. You might do this daily, you might do this weekly, you might do this monthly or quarterly. Whenever you do it, you have to go and manually count all the inventory, take a report, and then update your software again. And it takes huge labor cost, and it takes manual time. Third problem with the current system is tracking time. So if you have big warehouse and you want to figure out which of these box contains 5 mm nut bolts, 6 mm nut bolts, or which of these contains pneumatic wall of 3 mm, whatever. So tracking is really hard, and most of our workers working in MSMEs are illiterate, so they are not really very good with tracking which item is what. So it is very labor intensive and time consuming task. So the problems are the discrepancy, manual count, tracking time, and the delayed data. So what if we could have built a better solution for inventory, which provides you with the complete accuracy of inventory, which is completely autonomous, which provides you easy to track solution, and which is a real time, which shows you the data of your inventory in real time. Guess what? We have the solution for you, Boxit. It's an autonomous inventory tracking system. So this technology comes in multiple form factors. For example, we have these boxes where you can keep inventories like nut bolts, copper walls. Copper is generally costly, so you can keep copper walls. You can keep machine parts. You can put pneumatic and hydraulic pneumatic walls and equipments. Or if you want the stationary box, we also make this rack with the same technology. You can keep machine parts, the bigger parts which you might need in assembly line. Or if you have already racks, then what you can do is you can buy this shelf from us, and you can place these shelves inside your racks to store all the FMCG goods or maybe boxes you have or automobile parts. So how it works basically, the moment you put any inventory on the shelves or in our box or in our rack, the data of how much exact inventory you have is recorded using sensors, And then this data of how much inventory you have, or at any point in time, if someone comes and takes the inventory, the data of this transaction is uploaded to the central receiver, and then this is sent to the cloud. So you can have a complete record of all your inventory on your smartphone, computer, laptop, or on a factory floor. You can have a TV and you can have the entire data of your inventory. So here is a small video how easy it is to set up our system.
Are you a FMCG supplier, a restaurant, or a manufacturing industry that works with lots of inventory? We have a solution for you, Boxset. It's a system where we automate your inventory feedback with zero latency. All you have to do is place this system inside a box or rack. Take a Boxset box, plug it with a Boxset system, and ta-da! Place, plug, put, and you are ready to go in 3 easy steps. Now you can put any inventory on the system and you are free from all the manual stock counting and entering transaction data into the software. Boxset does it all for you. It records all the inventory transaction data, which you can see from the laptop, tablet,
from your phone as well, and literally from anywhere in the world.
So this was a small video of demonstrating how easy it is to set up. So these are some photos of software. You get the complete list of how much inventory you have, what was the last update time. You also get we also using LSTM, we also predict when your inventory will finish. So you will always know after 5 days this inventory will finish, so I should buy this today. We also give you the complete report of transaction at what point in time, how much inventory were taken out. So you can download it in a Excel file and then use it for a tally and everything. We also provide you the complete layout of your factory, and you will always know at what point of your factory, at what location, how much inventory is left. So what are the benefits if you buy this technology? First, the discrepancies will go to zero. The stockouts, you'll never have to face the stockout situation. You will never miss your delivery times, and you can save the discrepancy cost, which is around 1 to 4%. So you can annually save 1 to 4% of your inventory cost. You can use vendor managed inventory using this system. So whenever so you can set a critical limit for each inventory. So if you are using this box to store some inventory, you can set critical limit. For example, you set 50. The moment the number of inventory in that box goes below 50, the message will be sent to you, or it can directly be sent to the vendor, and then vendor will ship the inventory to you. So you never have to worry about your inventory. Your vendor will always have data about your inventory, and he'll replenish your inventory. By this, you can save 73% of your inventory carrying cost, because carrying extra inventory just not to get a stockout situation is again a cost consuming thing. Again, third benefit, you can there will be no manual count cycles that you have to go through daily or manually to remove inaccuracies, because there will be no inaccuracies. And you don't have to put one person just to enter the data of your inventory into the software. It autonomously does all for you, Boxset. So it will also save tracking your time. So if you have multiple boxes and you want to figure out which box contains 6 mm nut bolts, all you do is go to app and press buzz button in front of 6 mm nut bolts. The moment you press buzz button, the box which carries this inventory will start flashing a RGB light and making a sound. So you will easily figure out, okay, this box has this nut bolt. So you can easily go and grab the inventory. So the cost of product is hardware you have to buy at once. It may be come into different form factors, depend on quantity. We can provide you the quotation for that. And you can also optionally buy software system, or you can use it offline. So the use cases that we are using our technology right now in is assembly line and production line. In assembly line, production line, you can use it as a e-Kanban system to manage your inventory in assembly line, never run out of inventory. In manufacturing unit, in production lines, you can, instead of these crates, you can use our systems to always keep track of how much inventory you have. In FMCG warehouse or in manufacturing warehouse, we can use our shelves. If you are a distributor or retailer of a high cost equipments like pneumatic, hydraulic, plumbing, ortho, you can use a system. So currently we have implemented our systems. These are some users. Robotics is using it for storing solar equipment. Rizzo Robo is using it for their assembly line. Then we have pilot testing going on at authorized hero distributor of parts. This is the one of its photo. We are soon starting a pilot testing at Mahindra Logistic at Mahindra XUV300's assembly line. And we are also doing pilot testing with Hindustan Unilever's warehouse at Vapi. Thank you for listening to me. You can contact me for any queries or for any questions. You can contact this number. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Rishikesh, for that very interesting presentation. And now we have Shubhajit, who is the founder and the promoter of 4Climate, and a slightly different theme. He will tell us the cutting edge technology that the company is working on for automating and iotizing agri-tech and water-based farming.
Sure, sir. Okay.
Shubhajit, your video is not on.
One second, sir. Is it visible now?
Your screen is visible, but your video is not on.
I just turned it on. I think, yeah. Okay. Good morning, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some light on Industry 4.0 in agriculture. So, hello, I am Subhajit. I am the founder at 4Climate. We are an IoT smart precision farming technology company, helping farms to grow more, grow better, and grow faster in a sustainable manner. So at 4Climate, we are on a mission to empower the next generation of growers to grow the best food in a sustainable way. It is part of our mission to increase the efficiency of agriculture with IoT solution and big data, and towards building world-class precision farming solutions, which is affordable for everyone. Now, I'd like to start off my today's presentation by mentioning about a country that has always been on the front cover story whenever there is any forum discussions regarding the agri-tech space. A quick case study might help us. So Israel as a country has been applauded several times when it comes to disruptions in food production and agri-tech space through their new and modern innovations. As most of us might be aware of the fact that nearly 50% of Israel's land is available in desert, and farming often depends on the prevailing weather conditions. They have very minimal water sources, and not more than 20% of their land is arable. This is the part where we will be able to connect the dots. Despite all these challenges, they have been able to overcome this by adoption of modern farm practices and Industry 4.0 to their farm economy. Towards the right, I have highlighted two of the many prominent agri-tech startups that are based out of Israel. The first is CropX, a company that provides data-driven optimized farm management solutions. And following is a company called Netafrim that provides smart irrigation and a farming company that helps farmers to grow more with less. So this brings us to the slide where we discuss about why and how technological innovations in food production in India is important, how Industry 4.0 is playing a key role in modernizing agriculture, and how India is an emerging story. Today we're looking at India, which is home to 1.4 billion people, soon to become the most populous country in the world, surpassing China. Food security is a major concern for both the government and inhabitants of the nation. To address this problem, the nation also has plans and policies in place to ramp up the production. Also, it has ambitions of becoming a great leader in agri-exports by doubling food production and exports over the next 5 years. Further, all these initiatives should be towards the nation's commitment towards climate change, sustainability, and growth. And today, the tech penetration in India is reaching new heights, and the migration of the current farm system towards a digital, data-driven precision farming is not a distant reality anymore. If at all, our country aims towards becoming a leader in food production, to being self-sufficient and Atmanirbhar and capable of exporting high-quality food, there has to be a good adoption of scientific methods of farming coupled with modern technology. And this is where agri-tech companies like ours have a role to play as technology partners, ecosystem enablers, and manufacturers of precision farming equipment within the country, which we'll discuss over the next couple of slides. At 4Climate, we are building sophisticated precision hardware and integrated software solutions that can empower growers with data-driven farm ecosystem management solutions. We will discuss about the benefits in the coming slides, but what's important to know about here is the power and the ability to manage farms like never before. Knowing that your plants needs right beforehand and making it available to it in the right time at the right amount. These smart IoT farms could be soilless vertical farms based out of Bangalore, fisheries around Telangana, Gujarat, and Maharashtra, or plantations in Kerala. There are no boundaries. The technology stack is fairly similar for almost all of the IoT devices. It's a closed connected ecosystem comprising of IoT sensors and actuators, software, and big data. It comprises of a mix of sensors called nodes, and these nodes either gather information or execute tasks in real time. The client software acts as a medium to communicate with devices from anywhere in the world. The rule engine continuously keeps track of the processes like the CPU and processing data in real time to provide meaningful insights from data. 4Climate's entire ecosystem is built for growers and designed for farms. This means that our robust, accurate, and easy to use IoT smart automation can help you grow the best food, as well as lower the input cost that includes utilities, nutrients, and labor. Whether you're growing in soil or hydroponic solution or any other media, we have the perfect solution. We're helping to revolutionize the way people grow food and manage their farms. This slide encompasses our competitive advantage globally. Technology that simplifies the farming, bringing innovative hardware and software to deliver actionable insights to help improve your production per square foot per year, predictably, profitably, and at a scale. Performance is in par with internationally acclaimed solutions, and we are offering the best price to value ratio. Our dashboard acts as a primary interface between the grower and the farm. The dashboard is capable of scaling exponentially with the ability to host multiple zones and farms for any given user. We are working on an enterprise version that would enable existing B2B companies to leverage their hardware and our hardware and software solutions for the scale-up purpose. Now, with the help of technology, we're solving some of the key global problems like overuse of pesticides, water scarcity, and arable land loss. And at the same time, it is very exciting to see how precision farming is able to help the farmers and the next generation of growers reap the benefits of digital farming. The following numbers are based on statistics. Farmers are now able to achieve 25% faster yield, 30% more harvest than before with intelligent farms, minimize their crop risk by 100%, save productivity time by over 50%. These are some of the core benefits of having data-driven IoT solutions. And great news is, irrespective of the sector or the industry domain, it can very well be leveraged to drive performance within ecosystems, as shared earlier by my colleague startups, Limelight IT, Illuvium, and Robotics. Another good perspective is a positive impact it can deliver towards fulfilling many of the sustainable development goals, promoting health and well-being, safeguarding climate change, responsible consumption and production, and others. And as industries and MSMEs, it is important that in our day-to-day operations remain sustainable from all aspects, and that we also contribute towards it. We can also keep track of the audits and compliances ready for any future cases. And coming to our one of the last slides, we are currently live across 5 cities, covering around 20,000 square feet of operational farms. We can just relate as farms as more like industry floor shops itself, where we are trying to grow food, producing around 15 tons of leafy. Our systems are monitoring 15 tons of leafy green harvest every crop cycles. And yes, we are growing more. We have empowered our growers to grow more, grow better, and grow faster with technology. And this is all about us, a different perspective from the MSME point of view. But again, irrespective of the sector or the industry, IoT solutions are driving innovations across different sectors. They're increasing productivity. And thank you. Yeah, that's it. I'm Subhajit from 4Climate. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shubhajit, for that very interesting presentation. And thank you all of the presenters today and all of the participants also. That was the last presentation for today. Now we are open for question and answers. You can ask your question and answers by putting them in the chat box, and also you can unmute yourself one by one and we can have a chat as well.
Yeah, I think Shantanu, there are some questions already there in the chat box. We can take them up.
one by one. A few of them got answered by the founders themselves. But say, for instance, there is a question to Tarun Purohit from Limelight, from Mr. Jalad Srivastav, that what would be the post-sale service?
Yeah, so great question. So sir, basically the sales आफ्टर द सेल्स क्या रहेगा कि फर्स्ट ईयर तक टोटली फ्री रहेगा. जैसे ही हमारा जो वन टाइम मॉडल है उसमें अगर आप परचेस करते हैं हार्डवेयर एंड सॉफ्टवेयर तो फर्स्ट ईयर तक कोई आपको सर्विस चार्ज वगैरह ऐसा कुछ नहीं रहेगा, टोटली फ्री रहेगा. आफ्टर दैट we basically charge just for the visit and if the any required कि अगर कुछ हार्डवेयर में प्रॉब्लम है या कुछ रिप्लेस करना है तो.
I request my colleague Shivani to key in the feedback link. There's a very short feedback form that we've created just to have a perspective of industry on what kind of challenges that they face with respect to implementation of Industry 4.0 and just a general feedback about the proceedings for the day. So I'd request you to just take 2 minutes of your time to fill this feedback form. Getting a consolidated view of your requirements would help the startups and iCreate to recommend appropriate solutions to you. So the link is already there in the chat box. You may visit the link and then fill in your responses. This idea of this session was to have a two-way conversation between startups and the industry to understand if there is an intersection of the requirements versus the solutions that these startups bring to the table, and also some which iCreate can enable from its side. So among the members from industry who are joining this webinar today, I would request if you have any problem statements that you are coming up with, that you have come up with, or you're coming across for which you are actively seeking a technology solution, then you can share your experiences. Or even if you have an instance where you could work on the digitalization part, but you couldn't, take it forward. Just an experience sharing would also mean a lot to us. So I would invite also some of the members present here today to share their experiences with us.
Right. Thank you, Siddharth sir. There's a question again by Mr. Jalad Srivastav. The question is to Rishikesh. How would your solution be useful if the inventory contains numerous varieties and not the uniformity in size and weight? So then how would your solution be useful is the question. Rishikesh, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yes. So I hope you're okay with the question. Please go ahead.
Hi. So what happens is if you have, so basically the solution is for the inventory which you have in multiples. So it's not for say deliveries or Amazon where every inventory is unique. It's not for that. It's mostly for the manufacturing industries where you have same inventory in multiples. Okay, and even if you have some varieties if you have same inventory but there are some variations in weight and size, that's completely fine. We can still track those inventory. If you would like to know more about how we can do it, please contact me. I'll paste my number again on the chat box, so we can discuss more about what particular your inventory is and how we can track using Boxset system.
Thank you, Rishikesh. And I encourage anyone to ask questions regarding even general Industry 4.0 solutions may not be directly related to this cohort. My question is for Mr. Tarun from a particular phone number. How does digital twin help MSMEs that have batch production? Tarun, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So so basically क्या होगा सर कि अगर आपका बैच प्रोडक्शन है, so we can go with the batch wise production की अगर पूरा बैच मॉनिटर करना है तो फर्स्ट की बैच वाइज हम मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं, then we can generate a report according to it. Like अगर कि सपोज कि पाइप मैन्युफैक्चरर, मैं एक एग्जांपल लूंगा कि फॉर एग्जांपल कि एक पाइप मैन्युफैक्चरर हैं, उनके वहां ऑलरेडी हमने ये इम्प्लीमेंट किया है, तो हर एक पाइप को हम काउंट करते हैं, उससे ही पूरा रिपोर्ट जनरेट होता है, जैसे ओई मॉनिटरिंग, प्रोडक्शन मॉनिटरिंग. यही सेम चीज हम बैच के लिए भी कर सकते हैं कि हम बैच को मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं और उसके हिसाब से पूरा फिर रिपोर्ट तैयार करें। बाकी अगर हमें मौका दे तो वी कैन विजिट योर फैक्ट्री एंड एनालाइज योर प्रोडक्शन एंड गिव यू द बेस्ट सॉल्यूशन पॉसिबल।
Thank you, Tarun. The next question is to Rishikesh again. How can the digitization help in doing this exercise of stock versus physical monitoring? How can I make it easy? Rishikesh?
I guess I didn't really understand the question,
I'll repeat the question. How can the digitization help in doing this exercise of stock versus physical monitoring? How can I make it easy?
So basically, using our system, you never have to go physical and take a stock. So it's autonomous. Everything is autonomous. You never have to go count your things by going and physical. There will be no physical connections. Basically, the moment you add some inventory on the box, the moment you add some inventory on our shelves or racks, it automatically knows that at this point in time, 5 inventory were added in this box. The transaction of +5 is happened, or the moment employee goes and takes some inventory out, it automatically reduces those much inventory from the total number of units. And it's not a subtraction or addition. In the software, what happens generally is the moment you add 5 inventory, you add +5 to whatever the inventory you have before. But in this system, you continuously know exactly how much inventory I have in the box. We don't add or subtract anything. We continuously we count the number of inventory at every point in time. So you never have to go through physical counting and monitoring cycle. So that's how that will make it easy, I hope, if that answers the question.
Thank you, Rishikesh. Another question again for you. Do you have some VMI use case or experience? VMI use case or experience from Mr. Ravi Mishra.
VMI in this sense, if you
again, Mr. Ravi, could you please elaborate on what you mean by VMI exactly?
Mr. Mishra, you can
Vendor
also unmute
managed
yourself.
inventory.
Okay. So right now, yes, we have some use cases in vendor managed inventory where you gives open order to all your vendors. So if you say you have 100 different inventories and you have 50 different vendors for that, so each inventory for each data you share, like for one inventory you have 2 vendors, so you share both this data to both the vendors. You can, on our software, you can choose directly to send message them when the limit goes below the critical limit, or you can give the continuous access of data to the vendors, and they will always know ki at your factory this inventory is this much, and using our algorithm they will also know ki your inventory will finish in 4 days. So they can from on their node they can make decisions. Okay, your this particular XYZ company needs this inventory in 4 days, so I shall make this inventory right now, so it will finish in 2 days, so I can ship in 2 days and it will reach before they run out of inventory. So that's how it will work.
Great. I hope that answers Mr. Ravi's question. Are there any further questions that we can expect from the crowd?
You can also unmute yourself and ask a question, or if you have any comment, you can share.
Hello. This is Rajan Bhatt. I wanted to really know how your sensors sense the exact quantities. For example, from a box, a worker has taken a handful of boards. Let's say M10 boards are there in that box. The worker has randomly taken a handful of boards. How will your sensor actually count how many boards he has taken from that?
Thanks for the question. Yeah, thanks for the question, sir. So what happens is basically we are using multiple sensors. One of the main sensor is pressure sensor. So using the pressure sensors and the weight analysis of your inventory, we always know how much weight you have, how much is the pressure you are putting on the box, and using this analysis of weight analysis, we always know how much inventory is left. So even if it takes 5, 6 from any box, we always know how much inventory it is.
You are trying to say that every single box is on a load cell, is it?
Not exactly load cell, but there are sensors similar to the load cells, I would say.
What exactly? I mean, what kind of sensor, basically, other than that? And yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So what happens is, a normal load cell, what happens is they are made to for one point load. Basically, if you want to weigh something, you have to step out of the weighing system, and then you have to again stand on the system. Then it will measure the weight. Okay. But in this use case that we have, the weight is always on the system, right? So if you use normal load cell for this, the creep error will goes on increasing over the time.
Exactly.
Deformation will go on. So that's why we have made some changes in the software as well as in the hardware of a load cell, so that we never come up with this creep error and everything. So that's what our research and development has gone into.
Because and even if every box is on a load cell, how frictionless is the support? That itself will also make the difference.
Sorry, I didn't. Friction in what? Between what?
Frictionless is because you are weighing your container, isn't it? You are weighing the container. The container also has got to be on a reasonably frictionless support, otherwise you will not get the accurate weight.
I didn't really like.
That's a very interesting point, Mr. Rajan. I understand what you're trying to say. It is what he's trying to say is, if the basis, the flat surface on which your system is kept also has to be very, very stable and frictionless for you to get an actual accurate measurement. And I think that's a great point. And Rishikesh, I hope you can get in touch with Mr. Rajan offline and discuss with him in more detail about your technology.
Definitely. I would. So basically, if the surface is not very stable, I would tell you to buy our racks, which are more stable, which doesn't get this problem of uneven surface and friction and all that. If you would like to discuss more about the technology, I would happy to discuss more on this. Again, I'll put my number. We can have a call and we can discuss, sir.
Right. Thank you, Rishikesh. Thank you, sir. Any other questions?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, this is Minesh Mehta from C-Linkadis. See, I have a question for the iCreate. Actually, we have a CNC machine shop here. So we are CNC machine shop here, the production shop. So we are also planning for the Industry 4.0, so direct the production monitoring system. So regarding that, we have like more than 50% machine are basically from the Mazak. So how this software will get connected with the machine? I hope it is with the Ethernet only. But for Mazak, the permission will be required. So how it will be handled now?
So, sir, thank you for the question. I'd like to clarify. iCreate is not a startup. iCreate is not a product company. We support startups. We promote and support startups in the technology domain. For production monitoring and safety monitoring, I think Tarun from Limelight and Suraj from Alluvium would be better suited to help you provide a reasonably good technology solution. Tarun, Suraj, would you be interested in answering this question?
Yeah, so I got your question, sir, Mehta sir. So basically your point is कि जो आपके पास CNC मशीन है मजार, जो मे बी आप हमको कनेक्ट नहीं करने देंगे उनकी मशीन के साथ, मे बी डायरेक्ट डेटा वहां से अवेलेबल नहीं होगा. फिर भी अगर हमें प्रोडक्शन मॉनिटरिंग करना है तो उसका एक तरीका है जिसमें हमने एक टेक्निक डेवलप की है, उसका करंट सिग्नेचर के थ्रू, जो इसमें एक्चुअल पावर लाइन है उसके ऊपर हम सीटी सेंसर लगाते हैं और उसके करंट कंजप्शन के एनालिसिस से थ्रू हम पता लगा सकते हैं कि मशीन ऑन थी, ऑफ थी, कितनी एफिशिएंसी पे चल रही थी और क्या कर रही थी वो मशीन. वो एक मेथड है जो हमारी यूनिक प्रोप्राइटरी मेथड है, उसके थ्रू हम आपको ये प्रोडक्शन मॉनिटरिंग का सॉल्यूशन दे सकते हैं.
And that means you want to say that you have a solution available. We do not have to go for the Mazak and have to ask for the permission and all this, right?
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right.
Because it is a very long process, I would say, and again, it will be very costly also.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Right.
We'll talk on the phone, and then we'll decide what to do now.
Definitely, sir.
So Tarun and even Suraj, both of you can get in touch with Mr. Mehta and take this forward.
Sure.
Thanks a lot.
Any other questions for our companies, for even iCreate for that matter?
I think I'd like to take permission from Mr. Premal to play a video of iCreate. So for the benefit of people who were not there in the initial part, just a 2.5 minute video will give them a perspective about the capabilities of iCreate.
Sure, that's a good idea. We can do that, please.
So just allow me to share the screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes.
Sir, the audio isn't coming, sir. I can't hear the audio.
Can you send me the link so that I can play? It would be easier.
I'll reshare the screen.
The government has launched many initiatives to build a strong ecosystem.
Is it audible now?
For nurturing innovation and startups in the country. Such remarkable initiatives have helped in making India one of the largest startup ecosystems in the world. Gujarat too is empowering startups, innovators, incubators, investors, VCs and entrepreneurs in growing rapidly by exchanging knowledge and generating seed funds. To facilitate this, the government of Gujarat has set up state-of-the-art incubation centers like iCreate, iHub, GUSEC, among others. These centers have encouraged the spirit of innovation and enterprise by preparing aspiring entrepreneurs to convert their dreams into successful new ventures. A good example of this, iCreate, the International Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology.
So that was just to put things in perspective and about the kind of work that iCreate is enabling for the industry. I also like to mention a case in point that we are coming up with a country's largest challenge in electric vehicle innovation, and the challenge is open for innovators to participate. Industries are also welcome to associate with iCreate. The idea is to connect the breakthrough innovations that are emerging from across the country to the demands of industry. So this is what we are trying to facilitate through this challenge. And any industry players that are involved in manufacturing of electric vehicle subsystems, subcomponents are welcome to have a conversation with us and then explore a partnership with innovators that iCreate can facilitate.
Just a gentle reminder for everyone to fill out the feedback form, please. Are there any further questions?
Great. That brings us to towards the end of this session. Would like to give a formal vote of thanks to our guest speakers, Mr. Anupam Jalote, the CEO of iCreate, Mr. Tarun Purohit, the founder of Limelight IT, and also the recently the award winner at FGI for the awards in startups. Mr. Suraj Rajan, the founder of Alluvium IoT and a very old friend. Mr. Rishikesh Bagul, founder at Dash.robotics. Mr. Subhajit Sinha, founder for Climate. And our moderators for today's webinar, Mr. Shantanu Chaturvedi, the head of EV COE iCreate. Mr. Siddharth Parikh, head programs and initiatives at iCreate. Our esteemed FGI executive committee members, managing committee members, members of FGI, ladies and gentlemen, I have a proud privilege to propose a hearty vote of thanks on behalf of FGI to our esteemed guest speakers for their informative inputs and presentation on the subject and for taking up and resolving the queries of the participants. I also thank the participants for making this webinar pretty interactive and sharing their thoughts. I'm sure all the participants will be immensely benefited from the enriched knowledge, experience, and expertise shared by our speakers. We wish all the participants all the very best in their endeavors. I would like to thank iCreate for supporting this webinar. And I thank you all once again for participating in this webinar today. And may I request everyone to rise above for the national anthem, please.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you everyone for joining today, and we wish to see you very soon.
Thank you so much, Premal sir. I join our iCreate team and the startups today for thanking you for creating this excellent platform where this kind of dialogue exchange could happen. And sir, if possible, I'd like to request you to please arrange for a delegation visit to iCreate campus. We'll be glad to host the industry members from FGI and then present to them the kind of solutions that could be deployed for cost optimization and monitoring the overall equipment efficiency, etc. So on behalf of everybody and also to the audience that has joined us today, thank you so much, and we'll be in touch. Thanks.
Sure, thank you. Thank you. We'll plan a delegation very soon. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.